The haunting case of Elisa Lam, what really happened at the Cecil Hotel. When the elevator doors slid open inside the infamous Cecil Hotel, no one expected the world to witness what would become one of the most chilling mysteries of the decade. A young woman moving in ways no one could explain. Buttons pressed frantically, hands gesturing at something or someone no one could see, in an elevator that refused to behave normally. What happened to Elisa Lam inside that hotel has haunted investigators, paranormal researchers, and millions of people online for years. Today, we walk through every detail, every theory, every unsettling clue, in the hope of understanding the truth behind one of the most disturbing unsolved mysteries of our time.
Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old student from Vancouver, Canada. She was bright, creative, and deeply expressive. On her Tumblr blog, she posted about books, relationships, hopes, fears, and her ongoing struggle with bipolar disorder and depression. Her posts showed vulnerability, but also optimism. She believed in travel, new experiences, and finding meaning in places far from home. In January 2013, she set out on a solo trip along the west coast of the United States. Her family was hesitant, but Elisa promised to call home every day. And she did. Until the day she didn't. Her disappearance wasn't just strange, it was impossible to ignore. Because Elisa wasn't the kind of person who vanished without a trace.
The Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles wasn't just any hotel. It was infamous, linked to suicides, murders, serial killers, and decades of tragedies. A place where the line between history and horror seemed to blur. When Elisa arrived, she was assigned to a shared room. But within days, her roommates complained about her odd behavior, fearful, unpredictable, disoriented. The hotel moved her to a private room. Staff recalled her being friendly but noticeably anxious at times. Some said she talked as if someone was following her. Others believed she was distressed about something she wouldn't explain. Her last confirmed sighting was on January 31st, when hotel employees said she appeared a little off, but not dangerous. Then she stopped contacting her parents. Days passed, and the worry began to grow.
When Elisa's parents reported her missing, the Los Angeles Police Department launched a large search. Officers combed the building, knocking on doors, checking hallways, and even bringing in dogs. But the scent kept disappearing. The hotel cooperated, but there was one limit. Police could not legally search every guest room without probable cause. Still, something felt wrong. Elisa hadn't checked out. She left her belongings behind, and there was no sign of her leaving the building. Then, detectives accessed the security footage, and everything changed.
On February 13th, the police released the now infamous elevator video. The world watched in shock. Elisa steps into the elevator. She presses multiple buttons, but the elevator doesn't move. It just stays open. She hides in a corner. She peeks out, then steps out entirely. She motions with her hands, strange, flowing movements. She steps in and out repeatedly. She presses more buttons. Then, strangely, she appears to be speaking to someone, or something. The elevator door stays open the entire time. When she finally walks away, the elevator suddenly closes and begins moving again. People around the world tried to interpret the video. Was she panicking, talking to someone, hallucinating, being followed? Or was the elevator malfunctioning? Theories exploded. Some saw mental distress. Others saw supernatural forces. And many believed someone else was there, just out of frame. This video became the beating heart of the mystery. 2 weeks after Elisa disappeared, hotel guests began complaining about something strange. The water pressure was low. The taps made odd sounds. And worst of all, the water coming out had an unpleasant color and smell. Management sent a maintenance worker, Santiago Lopez,
to the roof to check the 4 large water tanks. When he reached the farthest tank, he noticed something floating beneath the surface. Something pale. Something shaped like a human. He froze. Then he called for help. Inside the tank was Elisa Lam.
Finding a body in a water tank on a rooftop isn't just unusual. It's nearly impossible under normal circumstances. The tank was tall, heavy, difficult to climb. The lid was heavy and required force to open. It was unclear how she could have gotten up there alone, especially considering the hotel's alarmed doors and restricted access areas. To get into that tank, Elisa would have had to climb to the platform, open the lid, get inside voluntarily or by force, and somehow end up submerged. Even stranger, the lid was found open when workers discovered her, but no one could confirm whether it had been closed earlier. This discovery turned the mystery from troubling to terrifying. The coroner's report concluded that Elisa died by accidental drowning. No traces of drugs or alcohol were found beyond the medication she was prescribed. But the report raised more questions than answers. There were no signs of assault, no signs of struggle, no evidence of someone else's presence. But there were problems. The autopsy report was delayed. Some pages were corrected or changed weeks later. Certain details seemed incomplete or contradictory. Toxicology could not confirm whether Elisa had been properly taking her medication during the trip. Her behavior in the elevator suggested distress, but the report offered no conclusive explanation for how she physically entered the water tank. To this day, many believe the autopsy created more confusion than clarity. How did she get on the roof? This is the central question. The roof access door had an alarm. To reach the tanks, Elisa would have to pass locked areas, climb a ladder, and then climb onto the tank. Could she have done all of this alone? Hotel staff claimed the alarms would have sounded, but former guests insisted the alarms were often broken. Some said the fire escape was accessible and easy to climb. Others pointed out that Elisa was physically capable, but may have been severely mentally distressed. Every answer brings another question: why this case still haunts us? Elisa's story went viral because it taps into something we all fear: being alone, afraid, and misunderstood. The footage feels intimate. The questions feel endless. The theories never settle. And the Cecil Hotel, a place where history and horror merge, provided the perfect setting. Elisa's story remains one of the internet's greatest unresolved mysteries. To this day, no one agrees on what truly happened. Elisa's life, her final moments, and the unanswered questions continue to echo online and in pop culture. Some say the case is closed. Others believe we're still missing a crucial piece. But one thing is certain: the story of Elisa Lam is not just a mystery. It is a reminder of how fragile the human mind can be, how shadows can swallow the truth, and how some stories refuse to fade. If you found this deep dive compelling, stay tuned for more mysterious, unsolved, and chilling cases that continue to shape the world of true crime.